Let me tell you a story. Not the one you think you know. This is a different story, a darker story. This is the story of what happens when a vessel of pure defiance is sharpened by the kingdom's bluntest, most brutal instrument. This is the story of Asta Sukehiro. It begins with an abandonment. A wicker basket, left in the lashing rain. But the sister who found him found a paradox. He was tiny, scrawny, but when he cried, it was a raw, full-throated roar. He had a shock of white hair and a set of lungs that could drown out a thunderstorm. He was, for a short, chaotic time, raised in the church, but a certain magic knight captain found himself in Hage on a mission so trivial, he'd already forgotten it. This place is as drafty as my ass. You got any food that isn't holy? And that's when he saw him. The baby, Asta, had somehow escaped his crib and was attempting to chew on the leg of a heavy oak table, growling like a feral puppy. Shh. This little runt's got more fight in him than my whole squad. He's gonna get himself killed in this soft place. The sister tried to explain. The boy had no magic. None. A complete, utter void. In this world, that was a death sentence. No magic, huh? So the playing field is already level. He just doesn't know it yet. Fine. I'll take him. There were no papers signed. No blessings given. He simply tucked the squalling, biting infant under his arm like a parcel and walked back out into the rain. And so, Asta's real education began. His cradle was a discarded wooden crate that once held cabbages. His teething ring was the wrapped hilt of a spare practice sword. His lullabies were guttural snores and the distant howls of swamp monsters. While other children were learning their letters and numbers, Asta was learning the alphabet of survival. A was for aura sensing. Listen, brat. Magic is flashy. It's loud. It's a distraction. But before any bastard casts a spell, their body talks. Their muscles twitch. Their breath hitches. Their ki, their life force, it flinches. You feel that flinch, and you've already won. Asta's first test was to dodge casual backhands while he was trying to eat. For a week, he ate nothing but dirt. By the second week, he was anticipating the swings. B was for battle spirit. It's not enough to be strong. You gotta feel strong. You gotta ooze it. You walk into a room, and every mage in there should get a little chill down their spine. They should feel like a rabbit that just spotted a wolf. Let your intent be your first weapon. Asta, at 8 years old, would practice his intimidating face in a puddle, which mostly involved a lot of scowling and gritting his tiny teeth. C was for cuss. A rich vocabulary is key to unsettling your enemies. You call a man a dastardly villain, he'll laugh. You tell him you're gonna dig a hole and shit down his throat until he suffocates, he'll pause. And in that pause, you crush him. Asta's first complete sentence, spoken with the solemn gravity of a toddler, was, "I'm gonna take a shit on you." The training was not training. It was conscription into a one-man war against the world itself. Before the sun even thought about rising, he would kick Asta's crate. Up, shitty brat. The sunrise waits for no one, and neither does my breakfast. Asta's morning run was a sprint through the black marsh, a place where the very air was thick with poison and the water tried to eat your flesh. And he didn't run alone. He ran with his teacher on his back. Hi, Captain. Don't hi me, you little runt. Faster. That mud squid is gaining on us. Meals were whatever monster had just been eviscerated with bare hands for getting in their way. He'd toss a still twitching leg to the boy. Protein, eat. It's what's for dinner. But it's looking at me. Good. Means it's fresh. Stop being a baby. A real man looks his food in the eye before he devours its soul. Swordsmanship was not about form or finesse. It was about one thing: impact. He gave him a sword that was little more than an iron bar. Stop waving it around like a fairy wand. You're not casting a spell. You're delivering a message. A message written in broken bones and shattered pride. Now swing. Harder. Put your back into it, you worthless maggot. Imagine that tree insulted your shitty hair. And Asta did. He swung until his hands were raw and bloody. He swung until his muscles screamed and his bones felt like jelly. He swung with every ounce of frustration, every moment of pain. He didn't learn defense, he learned to demolish. But the most important lesson came when he was 10. He'd ventured into a nearby town on an errand. A local noble's son had mocked him. Magicless freak. Orphan trash. Asta, taught to solve problems directly, had punched him in the mouth. The boy's older brother, a novice magic knight, had responded with a torrent of fire. Asta came back to camp, his clothes smoldering, his skin blistered, tears of pain and fury streaking through the soot on his face. "You're late, and you smell like a barbecue. What happened?" He used magic. It wasn't fair." "Fair? You think the Grim Reaper gives a shit about fair? You think a monster attacking a village stops to make sure everyone has the same amount of mana? The world isn't fair, kid. It's a fucking meat grinder." "But he had magic. I have nothing." "Wrong. He has magic. So what? You have something he'll never have. Something he can't train for, can't buy, can't inherit. You have the element of surprise, and a complete and utter lack of shame. He expects you to fight like a mage. So don't. He expects you to cry. So laugh. He expects you to play by the rules. So bite the bastard's ankle until he screams for his mother. Now, stop crying. Your tears are pissing me off. Go back out there and win." Asta stared. The tears stopped. Something hardened in his eyes, something cold and sharp. He didn't say a word. He turned and he walked back into the town. He found the novice magic knight who laughed upon seeing him. The knight began to summon another fireball. Asta didn't charge. He didn't yell. He dropped to the ground, rolled through the mud, and as the knight stared in confused horror, Asta sank his teeth into the man's calf muscle. The knight went down, shrieking. Asta didn't stop. He pummeled him with his fists, his knees, his head. It was ugly. It was brutal. It was utterly, terrifyingly effective. When he was done, he stood over the whimpering knight, not with triumph, but with a cold, unnerving calm. "The next time you see someone with no magic, you walk the other way. You understand me, you piece of shit?" He returned to camp that night covered in mud and someone else's blood. "Took you long enough. You stink. But you don't look like a loser anymore. Now eat. We're doing night drills." That was the day the cheerful, dream-shouting boy died, and the beast was born. Years passed. The scrawny runt became a compact storm of muscle and scar tissue. He was 15. The day of the grimoire ceremony arrived. He didn't bother going to the tower. "Aren't you coming?" "Why? You're not getting one." "I know. So why waste the time? We're heading to the capital. You're joining the Magic Knights." "But I have no grimoire." "And? You have fists. You have feet. You have a thick skull and a complete disregard for your own safety. That's better than any fancy book. Now move it. The entrance exam is today and I want to see the look on their faces." And so Asta Sukehiro walked into the hall of the Magic Knights headquarters. He was a stark contrast to the polished mages. He wore patched-up, rugged travel clothes. He had the dense, powerful frame of a brawler. And his eyes, they assessed the room. They calculated threats. The proctor, a pompous noble, took one look at his application and sneered. "Asta, of nowhere? No listed house? Mana level, 0. This is a joke. Get out, peasant. You don't belong here." The other applicant snickered, but Asta didn't flinch. A slow, feral grin spread across his face. "Old man Yami says tests are for people who need to prove something. I don't. I'm here to join the Black Bulls. So, I'll skip the line. You, fight me. If I land a single hit, I'm in. You insolent little, very well. Let's see how your no-magic bravado holds up against my gale magic." The proctor summoned a whirlwind. The other applicants backed away. Asta didn't move. He closed his eyes. He felt the man's kai, the slight shift in his weight, the minute tightening of his shoulder muscles. The whirlwind shot forward. At the last possible second, Asta dropped into a crouch and lunged, not away from the spell but through its weakest point. He was inside the Proctor's guard in an instant. His fist, hardened by years of punching trees and monster hide, connected with the man's stomach. The Proctor folded, hitting the marble floor. The hall fell into a dead, stunned silence. Asta stood over him, his grin gone, replaced by boredom. "You talk too much. Your key is loud and sloppy." He looked over at the Wizard King. Julius Novachrono's eyes were wide. He slowly brought his hands together in a soft, deliberate clap. Magnificent. Utterly, beautifully magnificent. "Yami, you've created a monster." "Damn right I did." "He's in then?" "Good. Get your shit, brat, we're leaving. This place reeks of nobility." And just like that, Asta Sukehiro became a magic knight. His first official day with the Black Bulls was a thing of beauty and terror. He didn't introduce himself. He assessed his new squad mates. He saw Finral trying to flirt with a waitress. Asta walked up, grabbed him by the collar, and dragged him away. "Hey, what's the big idea? Your key is leaking desperation. It's pathetic. We have work to do." He encountered Luck, who immediately sparked with lightning and lunged at him. "Fight me. You look strong." Asta didn't respond with words. He met Luck's charge with a perfectly timed shoulder check that sent the lightning boy flying through 3 walls. Luck emerged from the rubble, his face split in an ecstatic grin. "That was awesome. Do it again. Later. I'm hungry." But the most telling encounter was with Noel Silva. The royal tried to assert dominance by conjuring a clumsy, powerful water bubble and hurling it at him. "You commoner filth!" Asta didn't dodge. He stood there. The water slammed into him, soaking him to the bone. He shook his head, sending droplets flying, and then he just stared at her. He walked toward her, his footsteps heavy. He stopped inches from her. "Hey, princess, your key is all over the place. It's screaming you're scared of me, of yourself, of messing up. If you're gonna hit me, mean it. Put your soul into it. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time and getting the floor wet." He reached into his soaked pack and pulled out a rough, stained towel and tossed it at her. It hit her in the chest and fell to the floor. "Now clean up your mess. We've got training in 10. Don't be late." He turned and walked away, leaving a speechless, utterly flustered Noel Silva. The true test came with the attack of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the battle against Vetto. The coral peacocks and silver eagles were being decimated. It was a massacre. And then, the Black Bulls arrived. Vetto laughed. "More insects to crush? Your magic is worthless." And then he saw him, a boy, walking calmly through the chaos, a single battered sword in his hand. No magic aura. Nothing. What are you?" "I'm the guy who's gonna be Wizard King." The fight was a brutal ballet. Vetto was power incarnate. Asta was precision incarnate. He weaved through Vetto's attacks, his ki sensing allowing him to move a fraction of an inch before the blow even landed. But Vetto was too strong. He adapted. He landed a blow, a crushing strike that caught Asta in the side. The sound of cracking ribs echoed. He followed up, grabbing Asta's arm, and with a sickening crunch, breaking it. Everyone gasped. Noel screamed. Vetto grinned, holding Asta's broken form. "See? This is the difference between us. This is true power." Asta's head lifted, and he was smiling. Then it widened. A low chuckle escaped his lips, growing into a full-bellied manic laugh. "Ha! Ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! You broke my arm. That's great. That means I don't have to hold back anymore. I don't have to worry about breaking it." With a brutal, sickening twist, he wrenched his broken arm free. The bone jutted against the skin. He didn't even seem to notice. He switched his sword to his other hand. "Now, let's really fight." What followed was a horror show. Asta became a whirlwind of violence. He used his broken arm as a bludgeon. He headbutted. He kicked. He fought with a feral, terrifying insanity that forced the immensely powerful Vetto onto the defensive. It was in that moment of supreme pressure that it happened. A 5-leaf clover grimoire materialized before him. A demon's voice offered power. "Shut up and give me what you've got. We've got a bastard to crush." The anti-magic flooded him, but it was different. It was a cloak of writhing predatory darkness. His eyes glowed red with the feral gleam of a hunter. This was the Black Beast. He moved, and he was a blur of negation. Vetto's spells unraveled before they could even form. The fight was over in seconds. In the aftermath, as the Black Beast form faded, Asta stood panting, his body broken but unbowed. He looked at his squad. "See? Told you I'd handle it. Now, someone get me a medic, and some food. I'm starving." This is Asta Sukehiro, a beast in human skin, a psycho with a heart of gold. He is the ultimate black bull. He is the son of Yami, and he will become the Wizard King. Not by being the most magical, but by being the last one standing when all the magic is gone.